This is the OCR GCSE 9-1 Maths Foundation Paper 1 from the June 2018 series, and this paper is a calculated paper. Question number 1. Here is a list of numbers 2, 8, 5, 12 and 6. Part A, from this list, write down for the first part the odd number. The odd number is 5. So 5 is our odd number. Next, the cube number. Well, if we work out 1 cubed, we get 1. 2 cubed is 8. 8 is a cube number. Part B. Using the same list of numbers, we have to work out for the first part the median. What we need to do to begin with is write the numbers in order of size. We have 2, 5, 6, 8, 12. From this, the median is the middle number that would correspond to the 6. So 6 is the median. We now have to work out the range. The range is the largest number, subtract the smallest number. We've got the largest number 12, subtract the smallest number 2, so you will find the range to equal 10. Question 2. Here are the first 4 terms of a sequence, 2, 4, 8, 16. Part A, what is the next term in the sequence? To go from the 2 to the 4, we multiply by 2. To go from the 4 to the 8, we multiply by 2. To go from the 8 to the 16, we multiply by 2. So to find the next term, we multiply the 16 by 2 to get 32. So the next term in the sequence is 32. For part B, explain how you worked out your answer. Well, we multiplied the previous term by 2 to get the next term. Question 3, part A, write 40 as a percentage of 200. This means 48 out of 200 multiplied by 100. So if I work out what this is equal to, the 48 over 200 multiplied by 100, which is the same as 24. So we have 24%. For part B, we have to work out 1/4 of 80. 1/4 of 80 is the same as 80 divided by 4, which is 20. Part C, decrease 650 by 40%. Well, decreasing something by 40% is the same as multiplying by 60%. So we take this 650 and we multiply it by 60%. So 650 multiplied by 60%, which is the same as 0.6, that's 390. So we end up with 390. Question number 4, Patrick writes down a number. He says, if I find the square root of that number and then add 15, I get 27. What number did Patrick write down? To begin with, let's let this number that he's thinking of be x. What happens is, they start off with this number x, then find the square root of this number. After that, they add 15, and the result is 27. So they end up with 27. What we need to do is find x. We can do this by using the inverse operations. If I subtract 15 from both sides, what we end up with is square root x equals 12, and if I square both sides, what you will find is x equals 12 squared, which is equal to 144. Question number 5, part A. Write 12 to 54 as a ratio in its simplest form. Well, what we need to do is divide both sides by 6, and if we do that, we get 2 to 9. So the ratio in its simplest form is 2 to 9. Part B, the ratio of 400 grams to 1 kilogram can be written in the form 1 to n to find the value of n. So, what we need to do is make the units the same. We've got grams and kilograms. Let's convert everything to grams. So we've got 400 grams, and 1 kilogram is the same as 1000 grams. So for us to simplify this ratio in the form 1 to n, what we need to do is divide both sides by 400. So if I divide both sides by 400, what we end up with is 1 to 2.5, which means n is 2.5. Part C, Amanda and Wim share some money in the ratio 2 to 5. Wim receives £115. Calculate how much money was shared. Part C, Amanda and Wim share some money in the ratio 2 to 5. Wim receives £115. Calculate how much money was shared. So here is a diagram representing this ratio. We've got 2 to 5. We know that Wim receives 115. So the total for Wim is 115. We've got 5 parts in total here. So one part will be equal to 115 divided by 5, which is 23. So each part is worth 23. So the total that A receives is 23 multiplied by 23, which is 46. So the total that they received then, if we add these together, we get 161. Question number 6. A leopard is running with a velocity of 3 meters per second. It then accelerates for 2 meters per second squared for 4 seconds. Use the formula v equals u plus at to work out the final velocity of the leopard. So the final velocity is given by v. So we have v equals, well, we've got this initial speed of 3 meters per second. So that's what u is. U is equal to 3 plus a. Well, we know it accelerates 2 meters per second. So a is equal to 2 multiplied by t. So t is 4 seconds. So we multiply by 4. And if we work out what this is equal to, 3 plus 8 is 11. So we have 11 meters per second. Question 7, part A. We have to solve 4x divided by 56. If I divide both sides by 4, what you will find is x is equal to 14. Next, 126 divided by x equals 7. Something divided by x equals 7. 126 divided by 18 is 7. And we can confirm this on our calculator. 126 divided by 18 is 7. Next we have 8x subtract 6 equals 46. First step, add 6 to both sides. That leaves us with 8x equals 52. And now if I divide both sides by 8, what you will find is x is 6.5. Part B, solved by factorizing x squared plus 11x plus 30 equals 0. What we require here are two numbers which multiply to give the 30 and which add to give 11. What are those two numbers? Those two numbers are 6 and 5. So when we come to factorize, we have x plus 6 multiplied by x plus 5 equals 0. In which case we see x plus 6 equals 0, or x plus 5 equals 0. So if x plus 6 is equal to 0, x is equal to negative 6. If x plus 5 is 0, x is equal to negative 5. Question number 8, triangle T is drawn on the coordinate grid. That's what we see here. Part A, we have to rotate triangle T through 180 degrees about the center of origin here. Label the image A. Here is that triangle. Part B, reflect triangle T in the line x equals negative 1. Here's the line x equals negative 1. So when we reflect T, we get triangle B. Question number 9, two shapes are drawn on the grid below. Describe fully the single transformation which maps shape P onto shape Q. If we think about this point and draw a line through them, like so, and then if we think about this point and draw a line through them, like so, and then this point and draw a line through them, like so, and then this point and draw a line through them, like so, what you will see is we've got the center of origin here, and this length you can see is 3. This length here you can see is 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So we have an enlargement scale factor 2 with the center at the origin. Question number 10. Ruben hires a car. It costs £150 plus 85 pence for each mile he travels. When Ruben hires the car, its mileage is 27,612 miles. When Ruben returns the car, its mileage is 28,361 miles. How much did Ruben pay to hire the car? The miles covered, we've got 28,361 subtract 27,612. So if we work out what this is equal to, we have 749 miles. So what we can do is find out the cost. The cost is equal to this £150 plus the cost per mile is 85 pence, so we have 85 pence or £0.85 multiplied by 749. So if I work out what this is, we get a value of £786 and 65 pence. Question number 11. Pippa owns a snack bar. She uses 3/5 of a kilogram of spread each day. Spread costs £3.20 for a 1 kilogram tub and £6.15 for a 2 kilogram tub. Pippa buys enough spread to last for 14 days. What is the lowest price Pippa can buy this spread for? Show you working. So, we've got £3.20 for a 1 kilogram tub and £6.15 for a 2 kilogram tub. Now, in 14 days, she uses 3/5 multiplied by 14, and if I work this out, we get 42/5, which is 8.4 kilograms. And this 8.4 kilograms is approximately 9 kilograms. And this 9 kilograms I can split up as 4 2s plus a 1. So for the cost, we've got 4 times by the 6.15 plus the 1 times the 3.20, which gives us 27.80. Part B. In 2016, Pippa paid £1,650 rent. In 2017, the rent increased by 14%. Calculate the amount of rent she paid in 2017. So, we've got 1,650 multiplied by 1.14, which corresponds to an increase of 14%. So if I work this out, we get 1,881. Question number 12. A circle has a radius of 6. We have to calculate its circumference to 1 decimal place in centimeters. So, we've got this radius of 6. So the circumference, C, is equal to 2 times by pi times by 6. So if I work out what this is equal to, got 2 pi times 6, which is 12 pi, and as a decimal we get 37.699, etc. Which to 1 decimal place we have 37.7. Question number 13, part A. Show that the highest common factor of 18 and 63 is 9. So we've got this 18, which we can split up as 2 times by 9, and the 9 we can split up as 3 times by 3. We've written 18 as a product of its prime factors. Let's take a look at the 63. The 63 we can split up as 7 times by 9. The 9 we can further split up as 3 times by 3. 63 is shown as a product of its prime factors. So therefore, for the highest common factor, we need to look at what is common to both. Well, this 3 is common to both, and this 3 is also common to both. 3 times by 3 is 9, so the highest common factor is 9. We now have to find the lowest common multiple. For the lowest common multiple, we've got the 3 times by the 3, and then we multiply by what's left over, so we multiply by the 2, we multiply by the 7, and if we work this out, 9 times by 14 is 100. and 26. Question 14. Aditi, Becky and Kali collect coins. Aditi has 6 more coins than Becky. Kali has 1 less coin than Aditi. Altogether they have 71 coins. How many coins do they have each? Surely working. Well, if Becky has X coins, Aditi has 6 more than Becky, so Aditi has X plus 6 coins. And Kali has 1 less coin than Aditi, so that means Kali has X plus 6 subtract 1 coins, which is the same as X plus 5 coins. And altogether they've got 71 coins. So we've got X plus 6 plus X plus 5 equals 71. So 3X plus 11 is 71, 3X is 60, X is 20. So that means Becky has 20 coins, Aditi has 6 more than this, which is 26, and Kali has 1 less than Aditi, which is 25 coins. Question 15. Lee wishes to find out if there is a relationship between a person's age and the time it takes them to complete a puzzle. Lee decides to conduct an experiment. She asks 12 people to complete the puzzle. She records each person's age and the time taken to complete the puzzle. Make one criticism of Lee's method. Well, they're asking 12 people and that sample size is too small. The scatter diagram shows the results for 10 of the people in Lee's experiment. Here are the other 2 results. So for part B, we have to plot these results on the scatter diagram. So we've got an age of 47 and a time of 21 seconds. So 47, 21. If we find out where that is over here. Then we have 60, 34. So 60, 34 is here. Here is the completed scatter diagram. Part C, what type of correlation is shown in the scatter diagram? Well, as the age increases, the timing also increases, so we have a positive correlation. Part D, estimate the time it would take the person aged 35 to complete the puzzle. Show you're working to justify your answer. Well, what we need to do to begin with is draw a scatter. On the scatter diagram is draw a line of best fit. So we want roughly the same amount of points above the line as we have below the line, like so. And for an age of 35, incorrect. Question number 16. Finn has 2 bags of counters. He takes a counter at random from each bag. The probability that he takes a red counter from the first bag is 0.3. The probability that he takes a red counter from the second bag is 0.4. What is the probability that he takes at least 1 red counter? Well, here is a tree diagram representing that information. From bag 1, probability of red is 0.3. Therefore, the probability of not red is 0.7. For bag 2, the probability of red is 0.4. And therefore, the probability of not red is 0.6. So we want at least 1 red. The probability of at least 1 red is equal to 1 subtract the probability of no red. So, what is the probability of no red? Well, I've got 1 subtract, and then here I've got no red, followed by another no red. So I've got 1 subtract 0.7 times 0.6, so this is the probability of obtaining no red. And if I work this out, I get a value of 0.58. Question number 17. The price of a computer was £750. In a sale, the price is reduced by 20%. On the final day, the sale price is reduced by a further 12%. How much is saved in total by buying the computer on the final day of the sale? So, we've got this reduction of 20% and we've got a further reduction of 12%. We've got our original £750, and then if we reduce this by 20%, we multiply by 0.8, and if we reduce further by 12%, we multiply by 0.88. So if I work this out, that's equal to £528. So how much do we save? Well, that's 750 subtract 528, which is £222. Question number 18. The table shows the weights, W kilograms, of the bags that people took on a plane. So we've got the weight and the frequency, and we have to find an estimate for the mean weight of the 60 bags. So the first thing is the frequency will all add up to 60 because we've got 60 bags in total. What we need to do first of all is find the midpoints of each of these intervals. The midpoint from 0 to 10 is 5. Midpoint from 10 to 15 is 12.5. 15 to 20, that's 17.5. 20 to 25, that's 22.5. 25 to 30, that's 27.5. We now need to do the frequency multiplied by the midpoint. So for this, I've got 16 times 5, which is 80. Then I've got 10 times 12.5, which is 125. Then I've got 20 times 17.5, that's 350. Then I've got 8 times by 22.5, that's 180. Then I've got 6 times 27.5, which is 165. So now if I add all these together, 80 plus 125 plus 350 plus 180 plus 165, that's 900. And therefore, to find out what the mean is, that's 900 divided by 60, which is 15. Question number 19. The scale diagram below shows two cities, P and Q. We've got P and Q here. We've got the scale 1 centimeter represents 125 kilometers. A plane departs from P at 9:47 and arrives at Q at 12:07. For part A, we have to work out the average speed in kilometers per hour of the plane. So, the first thing we can do is measure what PQ is. That's 11.5 centimeters. So, the actual distance, that's equal to 11.5, and what I need to do now is multiply it by 125. And if I work out what this is equal to, that's equal to 1437.5 kilometers. So that's what the actual distance is. We now need to find the time. The time is the difference between 12:07 PM subtract 9:47 AM. So we have 2 hours 20 minutes, and if I work out what this is in purely hours, because I want to find out the speed in kilometers per hour, that's 2 hours and a third of an hour, because 20 minutes is a third of an hour. And so therefore, for the speed, that's equal to this distance of 1437.5 kilometers divided by the time of 2 1/3 hours. So if I work this out, I've got 1437.5 divided by 2 1/3, and it turns out we get a speed of 616.07 etc. kilometers per hour. Part B, give one reason why your answer may be inaccurate. Well, the plane may not have flown in a straight line. Question number 20. The scale diagram below shows towns A, B and C. Line AB represents the road from A to B, and the line AC represents the road from A to C. A shopping centre is to be built so that it is nearer to the road from A to B than the road from A to C, less than 14 kilometers from town C. Part A, using construction, shade the region where the shopping centre could be built. Show all your construction lines. Well, the first thing we need to do, if it's going to be nearer to AB than AC, we need to draw a perpendicular bisector. So that's our first job, to draw a perpendicular bisector. So point a bit at the point A. So we draw an arc, draw another arc like so, and then this pointy bit put over here at the intersection point. Draw one arc, pointy bit over here, draw another arc, and then join this to this. So if we do that like so, and then perhaps draw a bigger line like so. That's the first bit. We've got the scale 1 centimeter represents 2 kilometers, and we've got 14 kilometers here. So 14 kilometers, that means we have a radius of 7 centimeters, which we need to draw from C. So we need to get a radius of 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters is here. So with that 7 centimeters, put the pointy bit at C, and then draw an arc like so. So now we need to determine where the center can be built. And the center can be built in this overlapping region. So here is that region. Next, we have to explain why the region found in A may not be an appropriate site for the shopping centre. Quite simply, roads AB and AC may not be straight lines. Question 21. The dimensions in centimetres of this rectangle are shown as algebraic expressions. We have to work out the length and the width of the rectangle. And before we do anything else, we need to find out what x and y are. Now, for us to find out what x and y are, we need to recognise that the opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. So I've got 5x subtract y, subtract 8 equals 3x plus 5y plus 4. If I simplify this, what we end up with is 2x subtract 6y equals 12, meaning x subtract 3y equals 6. And then I've got the 3x plus the y subtract 4 equals 2x subtract 6y subtract 3. And if I simplify this, I have x plus 7y equals 1. What I need to do now is find out what x and y are. If I call this equation 1 and this equation 2, because we've got the same number of x's and we've got the same sign, we can subtract. So I can do equation 2 subtract equation 1. And if I do that, 7y subtract negative 3y, that's 10y. 1 subtract 6 is negative 5. So I've got 10y equals negative 5, which means y equals negative 0.5. So now I can find out what x is. So I've got x plus 7 multiplied by negative 0.5 equals 1. So I've got x subtract 3.5 equals 1, which means the value of x is 4.5. Now for us to find out what the length is and the width is, well, the length is this 3x plus 5y plus 4, and the width of the rectangle is the 3x plus y subtract 4. So let's work out the length. For the length, we have 3x, so that's 3 times by 4.5 plus 5y, so that's 5 times by minus 0.5 plus 4. So we will find the length to equal 15, and for the width, well, the width is given by 3x plus y subtract 4, so we have 3 multiplied by 4.5 plus y, so we add on negative 0.5 and then we subtract 4. So the width is 9. The length is 15, the width is 9.